What is something that you will get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
Many ball python breeders care more about the money and
kind of broken record that you guys are being brainwashed. And that phrase is that ball python breeders only care about money. All right, so we're going to have a discussion here.
All right, so let's have that discussion. I can't speak for anyone else, but I definitely know I am on TikTok saying those exact words. I've got that video. So if you want to have that discussion, I've made myself available. It's been a couple weeks now. I can't confirm that you've even received it since you did block me, so I can't message you directly. But anyways, I'm going to have that discussion. You made your rebuttal, and I'm going to elaborate on that. And this isn't to bully, mock, cancel, whatever you guys want to describe this as. I'm having the discussion that you opened your video up to, which seems like you're addressing my video. But anyways, so full disclosure, you may have never even seen my offer to have that discussion with you. But anyways, this video is going to be my discussion about your discussion of what you said. And I'm going to keep your identity private unless you reveal yourself or somebody else does. I don't care about that stuff. We're going to talk about the stuff that you said. Because not only you, but some people in your comments seem to think that you were spitting facts. I don't understand, but that's fine. And I'm going to talk about the things that I don't understand in this video. So before I speak my mind, let's listen to your words, completely unedited. Again, hiding all your identity. You made it public on the internet, and this is for discussion purposes only. No bullying, harassing, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to have a discussion here because I've gotten this comment a lot lately, and I've heard it everywhere on TikTok. I don't know if it's some kind of broken record that you guys are being brainwashed with or what. And that phrase is that ball python breeders only care about money. First of all, first point I have against that phrase is the fact that ball python breeders spend more than they make for the first probably 5 to 7 to 10 years that they're breeding.
Heard you're having money problems.
I've been doing it for 3 and I have yet to see a profit on anything because of the amount of money that I have spent trying to grow my business. As far as snakes, housing, electricity bill going up because of the heating, feeding them every week. When you have 50 snakes, it's kind of expensive, even though the most I pay for a rat is $3 for a large, but I have to buy 6 of them at a time because I have big boas that eat them. You know, it gets pretty expensive. Shorts for my merchandise, stickers, business cards, logo, commissions, those are not cheap at all. Rack systems cost thousands of dollars. Ball python breeders spend a lot of money, guys. The second thing is that, yes, it is about money. Why else would I get into breeding snakes and spend tens of thousands of dollars buying snakes and housing them and feeding them if I'm not going to make some money off of it? That is the whole point. Everybody in this world does something to make money, guys. Whether it be working, whether it be a side hustle, whether it be making things, whatever. I make and sell cool snakes. Third and final point, because I'm running out of time and I want to make this quick. If it weren't for breeders, you wouldn't have your snake. Whether it be a rescue or whether you got it at PetSmart, which is a bad idea for another topic, but or whether you got it from a reptile expo. Those are breeders. You would not have your snake. You would have the only snakes that would be available if it weren't for breeders like myself and other people who have been doing this way longer than I've probably been alive, is you would have African import normals, which are just plain Jane ball pythons from Africa that would probably come in sick and would have all kinds of issues that you have no idea of how to cure or whatever, because they're exotic animals. Breeders have figured out what, genes work together and what genes don't through trial and error. We found out that the spider gene has genes that you can add into it to make it not wobble. We have found that when you mix Mojave and a bunch of other genes, you get a white snake with blue eyes. You wouldn't have that if it wasn't for breeders. So think about that the next time you want to bash ball python breeders. You wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for us.
Okay, so your first point to counter my statement of ball python breeders, most ball python breeders care about the money than they do about the snake. Your first point to disprove me is to talk about money. That's all you talked about. And your first point to disprove me is about money, about how much money you spend to buy the animal, to house the animal, to feed it, to heat. Then you went into the tangent of shirts and merchandise, and even as far as noting that you have to pay people to make your logo. All that stuff is for you as a person, not for the snake. But what I didn't hear is anything about veterinary care, preventive maintenance to keep these animals healthy and happy. You rattled off the basics to keep them alive. So again, tell me how point one proves that you don't care about the money, that the animals are more important than the money. Where was that? I didn't hear it. All I heard was money, money, money. Money spent, money spent, money spent. And most of that was for a business. All of it was for a business. It's in your business interest to keep that snake alive. It's in your business's interest to keep that snake eating. Nothing did I hear anything where the snake's interest beyond feeding and environmental but if you didn't comply to those, the animal would die, your business would die. So, again, all about the money. Okay, so now point two, which totally blows my mind, totally shot yourself in the foot with your whole argument by saying it is about the money. So, I'm wrong to say ball python breeders care more about the money than they do snakes, and then you say in a rebuttal, yes, it's all about the money. What can I say about that? We agree. Of course, then you go off on a tangent about that you're well in your rights to make money, that sort of spew, which I'm not opposed. That's not the argument. The argument is that the emphasis is on the money and not the animal. That's where we differ. I'm fine with people who breed, produce babies, and have babies for sale. I buy those babies. I'd be a complete hypocrite to say that is wrong. I don't disagree with the selling of offspring or whatever, as long as you have the moral and ethical compass to understand that these things are alive and they're not just this commodity that is, and its only value is its cash value. My point is these animals need to be seen beyond just the money. There are plenty of breeders, and I'm not going to say their names, that breed lots of snakes, but at the same time though, their passion for the animals well exceeds the value of those animals. Those are good people. Those are good breeders. So point three, should just left that one out completely, because what is that? That sounds just like you're giving yourself a pat on the back, like I and other people owe people like you a debt of gratitude. I mean, I get kind of what you're saying, but I think you failed to connect point A to point B with what you're saying. Yes, breeders are responsible for quality for the most part. Not all breeders, but good breeders who care about the animals produce good quality animals that we have for pets. Garbage breeders who look for just profit, those guys are the ones who continue dumping into the market sick animals that aren't. That's the problem. they care about the money and not the animals. Because if they cared about the animals, they'd put the money into making those animals healthy. But they don't care. They'll dump those dying animals, those sick animals, those malnutrition animals into the hobby. So just because you're a breeder doesn't make you a saint in herpetoculture, because we're not just having plain Jane ball pythons from Africa. Like, that's the problem. This whole thing. Never once did you speak of passion, of love for these animals. Everything you talk about either goes back to you and your ego or money. And sometimes those two are just twisted together. And one final thing about point 3 that just was weirdly odd. At the end of that, you said the next time you think twice before you bash ball python breeders, because without them, you wouldn't have anything. That's what you said. How would I have this? Because of ball python breeders. How would I have corn snakes before ball python breeders? These were being bred in the 60s and 70s. And ball pythons really didn't pick up until the early 90s. I think 92, when the albino came out, the albino was discovered. I think that's when ball pythons picked up. So tell me. And then we had berms. Albino berms were big. They were probably one of the first snakes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think albino berms was one of the things, but people kept the other, normal berms. So tell me again how ball python breeders have set the stage for herpetoculture. Like, I get it, they are a huge influence of later, but they weren't the foundation. They were part of the building blocks. There's plenty of reptiles that are part of the building blocks. But I don't understand where you get off saying that without them, I wouldn't have nothing. Well, I would probably still have corn snakes. I will always have corn snakes. I don't care what other people think about corn snakes. This snow corn snake, it's a snow. It's a morph. It's a very common morph. And it's one of my favorites. And it's why I keep it. I keep it because corn snakes are my passion. They're the snake that got me into the hobby. And I will probably forever have a corn snake. And I don't care what kind of money this thing is worth. It doesn't matter. It's my connection. It's my beginning into the reptile community. My first true snake that I give credit to me being where I am is to a corn snake. I had little no lizards. I had an iguana, kept wrong in 1990. Kept it wrong because the information was horrible. The ideal that they don't outgrow their cage, that kind of ignorant stuff was what was known. But it was the corn snake that made Reptile Jones. And no matter how devalued the hobby may think of corn snakes, I will always have one. I will be proud to have them. I have 3 now, and I'm proud to have 3. Will I breed them? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I keep them because I enjoy them. I enjoy them for what they are. So here is one of the other snakes that I have, the other corn snakes. This one's a blizzard, slightly different than the snow. Still a very beautiful animal. It is in shed, so its eyes are a little bit wide, washed out. But anyways, this is going to be the end of the video. Feel free to leave your comments below. I'll listen to them all. If you make a video, by all means, feel free to use this. Butcher it however you want to talk about the points that I made, whether you agree or disagree. All I ask is you let me know so I can see it. And then, if you bring up a valid point or something, I can either discuss it in my own video or we can figure something out. Makes no difference to me. The point of this video is not to single out any one person, but this toxicity that's in herpetoculture, and that's where people care more about making money off of these animals than they care about the life of these animals. And we can talk about things, but I don't want to really focusing on like, ooh, whether it should be racks or vivariums, things like that. Those are moot points. Certainly, they each have their place, and maybe it is a discussion we should be having. Not everybody should be buying snakes and just shoving them in racks. I think if you have this space, you really should do vivarium type setups or naturalistic, semi-naturalistic. It doesn't have to be fully planted. It could be fake plants, whatever. But I think a lot of people just quickly go to just shoving them in the racks, which racks have their place. I get it. I'm not against it. What I'm against is people caring more about the money than they do about the life of these animals. That is where I draw my line. So again, feel free to use this video. I'm fine with it. However you want. Chop it up. Either make your own video arguing with me, whatever. I'm putting it out there as a discussion. So let's discuss this stuff, either in the comments or wherever you happen to find this. And again, if you make a video using my content, all I ask is let me know so that way I can watch it and see and listen to your points, listen to what you've got to say. Because I'm all ears to listening to difference of opinion. So, till next time, later.